Hello and welcome. So I'm going to be starting a little something here where I do want to record some gameplay of some of my all-time favorite games, and I'm honestly just doing it mainly so I can have it cataloged for myself, but definitely also for my way that I can try to preserve games in general. And so wanted to start off with Castlevania Symphony of the Night. A little background on this game here is, so as you can see there, it came out in 1997, and this game is basically the second part of the Metroidvania game or genre, which has become so popular now. And it was really, while this wasn't the first Castlevania game, it was definitely one of the first that introduced like this style of like adventure where you're exploring and unlocking items, and that unlocks a new path. So kind of like what Metroid was doing. And so between the two, right, really Super Metroid and Castlevania Symphony of the Night were the ones that sort of popularized that Metroidvania name. And it wasn't the first game in the series to try to do this style. You could say that Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest did that, but this was definitely the one though that really got it right. And for me personally, I mean, this game is my third favorite game of all time. Just absolutely incredible. And so again, just wanted to document my playthrough on this. So before I start getting into this, so just a little heads up, I'm not going to be able to play this all in one sitting. I will have to split this up into several different parts, and they will probably be spread out sporadically as I don't always have a whole lot of time to game, and so I don't know how long it'll take me right and all to actually go through this full game. I've beaten this game several times, so I know how to beat it and all, but I'm also not, the biggest expert on it. So this kind of think of this more as a casual playthrough, and I'll just be providing some commentary along the way. I mean, I've beaten the game several times. I think I 100%ed it one time, and so I'm pretty familiar with it overall. So you can kind of use it like sort of like a walkthrough how to play. I'll try to provide tips as I can, but again, I'm not think of this more as just a casual playthrough on it. And like I said, my hope is to beat it within a month's time or so. But like again, with my schedule and all, I'm not sure how quickly I can get through it. And so as the game's going along, I'll be providing some commentary on it um, during some of the more major parts of the game. I won't say anything and all because I would rather like the music play out and the little bit of story that it has. But otherwise, when I'm just doing regular gameplay, I'll try to again provide as much commentary as I can. But let's get this going. And I should say that the version that I'm playing here is on the PlayStation. Was the PlayStation 4 one that's backwards compatible on the PlayStation 5. Oh, so as you can see here, I've already had some game files saved. So like this one here was the last one. I was at 197%. So, I mean, I'm not the best at this game, but I know a thing or two about it. But I'm definitely not speed running it, right? That's not what I'm all about. So nice little CG intro there. And so in case you didn't know, so Castlevania Symphony of the Night is a sequel to Castlevania Rondo of Blood. And that was the game that came out on the PC Engine's Super CD that they had over there. Or Super CD or regular CD, I'm not sure. And so this game basically starts off right where that game ends off at. So what I'm playing here is really the last boss fight, basically, from Rondo of Blood. And they, with a few new additions, and you can explore like this little area up here too. Actually, maybe you can in Rondo of Blood too, I'm not sure. Really, these items that you get in here are pretty much useless as far as I know because, well, you won't have access to them after this little bit here that you play. But here you are controlling Richter Belmont.
Dracula, die now and leave this world. You'll never belong here.
Oh, but this world invited me. Your own kind called me forth with praise and tribute.
Tribute? You're a thief. You steal men's souls, their freedom.
Freedom is always sacrificed to faith, good hunter. Or are you truly here by choice?
All I'm here for is you. To hell with your heresy! You're nothing but a blight on mankind.
Ha! Mankind. A cesspit of hatred and lies. Fight for them, then, and die for their sins!
That's so cool. Now this version here that I'm playing, this has the updated acting in it. So it doesn't have the original acting that came with the original PlayStation version, which was, not the most professional. And so this one, they improved the script a bit, the script and the acting on it a bit. But other than that, though, just a great opening to this game. Incredible music, cool boss fight, right? That you're starting off at the end of where the last one ended up on. Just truly epic. And it's pretty much the same boss fight as in the end of Rondo of Blood, just not quite as hard, but even that last boss I felt wasn't too hard though. So this one here, so you can jump and hit the attack button like you whip, but then if you hold the attack button down, he does he kind of dangles his whip a little bit, which you can use as a shield, like such. So like to hit twice, and then when I come down, I hold the attack button down, and that way he dangles his whip to try to block some of those fireballs there. He's gotta be patient in this part here. With it, so I just dangle the whip there, and so he'll block those fireballs. And then here you duck, and then you jump. So you kind of have to get the timing right on that one, but it's not too bad. Oh, now we go to the second form. Love the background for this. So I'm kind of getting hurt here on purpose.
Richter! I'll lend you my strength!
So if you've never played Rondo of Blood, that probably seems a little strange what happened there. Basically what it is that in Rondo of Blood, you can unlock that girl there, Maria, as a hidden character, and she's actually, it's kind of like playing on the game on easy mode if you select her, and so some of those animal things that you saw are some of those special attacks that she has. I love this part though right here.
Count Dracula had risen with the aid of the Dark Priest Shaft to menace humanity once again. The legendary vampire hunter, Richter Belmont, stood against him and at last brought him down. However, 4 years later, on a glaring full moon night, Richter mysteriously vanished. Maria Renard set out to find him, but knew not where to begin. It was then that fate intervened. Castlevania, the Castle of Dracula, rumored to appear once every century, suddenly materialized from the mist, as if to show her the way. Meanwhile, powerful forces struggled for the soul of a man named Alucard. He who had once fought alongside Trevor Belmont against his own immortal father, Count Dracula himself. To purge the world of his own cursed bloodline, Alucard had submerged his vampiric powers and fallen into what was meant to be eternal slumber. But now, he awakens to the cackles of evil and cries of the innocent. The eternal battle of good and evil has come full circle once more. Dracula's castle beckons for you. And no man can say who will emerge victorious.
Can never get enough of that intro. Amazing music, cool little story. Although I will say that I do kind of prefer the PlayStation version. While the narration is done okay, in the PlayStation version it doesn't do any narrating, so I kind of prefer that actually. But it's still pretty good. And now we're introduced to Alucard, who for me is one of the funnest characters to control ever in a video game. And not only that, the way he feels too. The way he just kind of glides across the screen, it's so smooth and just makes it just a dream to control. I mean, he's really responsive, and just his animations and all feel really fluid. It's one of the things that just struck me about this game immediately when I first played it. As if you had played previous Castlevania games before this game, the characters seem to usually felt a little stiff, or Alucard just feels very fluid, very responsive, and yeah, he's just such a joy to control. And as you saw there a little bit earlier, right, I'm leveling up, so this game brings in some RPG elements where, the more enemies you defeat, then that'll increase your levels, which will increase your health and strength and just some other attributes. Now, one thing I like to do here on my playthroughs is I like to spend a little bit of time here just killing these enemies here. They're pretty easy, they come out a lot, so you can kill quite a bit of them in a short amount of time. And I just like to gain a few levels here. I never really have a specific amount of how many levels I like to gain. I just sort of, maybe like after like 2 to 3 levels or so, then I'll call it good. But as you can see, right now you level up fairly quick at first, but then once I notice that I'm not leveling up quite as fast as usually is when I start. Again, not something you have to do, but just something I like to do here. And so most Castlevania map layouts, they usually start off like this, where you go through the first entryway of the castle, and then it has like a little area here where all these fishermen come out, so just stick to the tradition of that there. Okay, I think I'll call it good. Usually I'd like to gain like another level or 2 or so, but I'll call it good for now. And so being a Metroidvania game, right, you're just kind of exploring here. Now you can go into this section here, this will come for later. But if you press on the PlayStation, the touchpad, this will bring up the map here. And if you do like a quarter circle, and then the attack button does a cool little move here. But that was pretty cool. So with some of the weapons that you get in this game, if you put in like some kind of a command like that and all, sometimes they'll have like a hidden move, so it's worth testing it out.
Alucard, what is your business here?
I've come to put an end to this.
Ever the insolent boy. But there will be no games here. If you will not behave, be gone.
I will do neither. Step aside, old man.
Such arrogance. Very well. But I shall see you very soon.
I gotta say that the first the one on the PlayStation is known to have really horrendous acting, but I almost feel like I like the voice of Alucard in that one more than this one. He sounds fine in this one, it's just, he has kind of like a deep, booming voice in the other one, where he's like, I demand you cease your attack, and then Alucard's like, I will not, and I don't know, I just always felt that he just had like a very commanding voice in the first one. One of the few things that I actually didn't mind too much in that one for the acting. Let's see, so we got our RPG mechanics here. So again, you have your HP, MP, heart, strength, constitution, I believe, intelligence, and luck. And then, experience point, gold, and when you level up next, and how much time you played, and all that. So we can equip items on Alucard. So I'll go into the equip menu here. So we got a short sword. And so you have two hands, right, that you could equip something on. So generally, one, obviously, you want to have your attack weapon. And then theoretically, you would want to have like a shield in this one here. But you can also equip like a life potion or something like that on this one too. So one little knock that I have about that game is that if you want to use like life potion, you have to have it equipped on you before you can use it, and then push the button. So, and if you're not prepared, that can kind of spell an early death. But that's all we got for now. And as you're noticing, as I'm hitting candles, I'm not getting any items, and that'll come into play later. Oh, so another blocked area, so you can't go there. I just enjoy watching the animation on this guy. Just the way his hair moves and the cape and everything. Truly stunning pixel art animation. All the way back in 1997 when this game came out. That's a red rust sword. It's a double-handed sword, and it's not quite as powerful as the short sword, right? Yep. No. So I've never really put that. And here you got your little save rooms. So you just push up, and it'll save your game. So you have the square button that attacks, and then the circle button, which uses your other hand. So if you have a shield equipped, you'll use the shield, but right now I don't have anything, so you just punch it with his face. But you get these relics here, and so they do something, right? And so like this here is what unlocks where you can now gain items from the candles. And every time you see a door like this, it's because you're going to be entering into a brand new area. And so back on the PlayStation, right, this is where it was, the game would load, so you can see the little CD icon there. I always love the way the name of the stage is presented there. There's a lot of artistry to this game that I really enjoy. Oh, getting my butt kicked. Okay, so we got a new. So this would be an armor that I got. Okay, break our defense by a little bit. Shield. And so as you're first playing the game, I'll try to I know where most of the secret rooms are located at, so I'll try to go through them as I'm going through my playthrough here, but otherwise you just kind of sort of want to hit walls, and eventually if you come across a secret room, you'll notice that it'll start cracking, and so then if you hit it a few times, it'll let you eventually go into the secret room. I'll come across a few of them here in a bit. It never hurts to save as much as you can. And there's this elevator here which only goes down, doesn't go up. a lot of the sprites that they use in this game are taken from the Rondo of Blood game on the PC Engine, so kind of goes to show how good the artistry was in that game there. Oh, got my first sub-weapon, a knife. Oh, so here we go, right? So here's the super room down here. Oh, and these are always good, as they increase your life by a little bit. And I believe there's another one over here. Yep. Okay. So like a good Metroidvania kind of game, right? And also it's worth exploring, so that way you can get, you know, try to maximize your life and your magic and all as much as possible. Along with just one thing that I love about this game is all the loot that you can get in it. Some of it is kind of useless, I guess, but it's still kind of fun, right? Resist Thunder, that'll actually come into play much later. So I would say, I mean, experiment however you want, but I would say that if you do come across those Resist Thunder ones, just store them for now, because again, it'll come into play much later in the game. Oh, bloody. I mean, the game is fairly non-linear, right? This is just, the path that I'm going through is just the path that I've always gone through when I play this game. Not maybe the most efficient, but it's just the way I like playing the game. Just so, because I'm trying to get as much of the items and all as I can. Okay, so we got a cross cape. So this one's actually kind of cool. I like the red color to it. And I'm just going to be here on the side, so if I momentarily pause, it's because of that there. Just having a chill little night here. I have Thursdays off for work, so I'm recording this on a Wednesday, so this is kind of sort of like my Friday evening, I guess you can say. So one of the things that I kind of want to do with my channel as well too is, to some extent, right, and I'll provide some information and everything on, you know, just what is it like being a gamer, as being a, you know, father and husband, as, you know, we just can't game quite as much as we used to, but there's definitely still ways how we can enjoy our hobby. And so every now and then I'll be providing just some little stories here and there about what's been going on and such, so hopefully it'll be somewhat entertaining or at least relatable, right, for anybody that might be listening that's in a similar position, or feels like they might be in a similar position at some point soon. And so money, you definitely want to try to get as much as possible, as, again, that'll come into play later. Oh, so got my axe here. Oh. Okay. That area is blocked. And again, I know where to go to on this, I'm just sort of showing it. So I'm kind of playing it like showing you how to play the game, but also just kind of like as a first-time player, right? Like what they would be doing. And we get our first boss. See if anybody that has played previous Castlevania games will recognize these two. So it's not that hard, but get out your shield, we're just gonna walk on. Then he has another form here, so he'll kinda, if you don't hit him, I believe he dashes out at you. Or not. Okay, so there's one gone. And so he has another form too. So he starts shooting more. He has that big fireball now too. So it doesn't last not too hard. There you go. Pretty simple. I love how the like the font and everything just animates and all. It's just all very brings a certain artisticness to the game that I really enjoy. Okay, so actually I'm going to come up here. There's a save point up here. Never hurts to save as much as possible. I always like doing this. These look cool there. I love his design. And so another thing I'll be trying to do here also on the side as I'm playing these games is I'll try to provide a little bit of facts, right, and all about the game or little tidbit information as much as I can. So the game was developed by Konami Computer Entertainment Tokyo and published by Konami. And so the director was Toru Togihara and also Koji Igarashi. So Koji became very kind of popular, right, and all, as being sort of a face for the Castlevania series for many years after this, as I believe that he was kind of a developer. I know he developed, or he helped develop Rondo of Blood, and then I think eventually he ended up getting involved in this game. And I don't think he was the original main director, because again it says here it was for Toru Togihara, or Hagihara. But eventually he was sort of became the name when it came to like the Metroidvania games going forward after this. He's also the guy behind the Bloodstained series, if you're familiar with those games there. But I was going to get at though is that the beautiful art that you're seeing on this is so it's a Japanese artist. She's really incredible. I love her artwork, and her name is Ayami Kojima. And so like when you first like when you see the wallpaper to this game here, like, you know, the startup screen, like in the screen there on your PlayStation desktop, that's from her, and she ended up doing the art for several of the Castlevania games, and she just has a really beautiful style. I almost compare her to the original Final Fantasy artist, Amano, I believe is his last name. They just have like this very ethereal style that's it looks incredible. And you know, actually one thing that I kind of like about this game, and it's gonna sound maybe kind of like a weird comparison and all, but I really got into the Vampire Chronicles series of books, you know, written by the late and great Anne Rice. And so sometimes I feel like when it comes to like vampires, I like when there's a feminine touch to it. It's just, I don't know, maybe it's just because I just really enjoyed those Interview the Vampire, you know, the Vampire Chronicles books a lot. And so like this game kind of has the same thing too, where the music by Michiru Yamane is just absolutely gorgeous. The soundtrack to this, if you can hear it, is amazing. But then also with Ayami Kojima's artwork, and just brings a certain touch to this game and all that, has like a certain, just like a, I don't know how to, like a very beautiful gothic style that I really enjoy. And in some weird ways, it sort of reminds me of, you know, the Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicle books. So some areas here that you can see, right, as I'm going through the map here. There's some areas, right, that I obviously haven't been able to touch yet. It's not like a too great Metroidvania. They're just, you know, you make mental note of it, knowing that, I'll eventually be able to go back there and, you know, get some new stuff, use unlock certain items and such. A little bloody. We have magic in this game. I never really messed around with it too much.
Dark metamorphosis.
Okay, so there we go. I don't even know what that does. And we got this sub-weapon here, which I'm not a big fan of. I guess it works in certain areas, but basically it's like it's actually pretty powerful. But... Also got this dash move by pressing the triangle button. It kind of gets you out of harm's way really quick. We got that move too also, which is kind of good. It kind of works like the holy water in a way. Oh, another area. And when I first played this game, I just remember, outside of just getting to explore a new area, it was the music. And I was like, oh, what cool new music are we going to hear now? Now the holy water. For me, this is one of my favorite weapons in this game. Take some pretty quick work of some enemies. Let's stick with the holy water. But this game came out originally on the Sony PlayStation on March 20th of 1997, and eventually we got it here in North America on October 3rd of 1997. Which was really an incredible time for me because so my favorite game of all time is Final Fantasy VII, and that came out on September 7th, I believe, in 1997 here in North America. So I remember back then at that time, I was 17 years old, and so played Final Fantasy VII. We beat it within about a week, me and my brother and a friend, and absolutely loved it, right? I mean, it became a game-changing game. And then shortly after, right, like not even a month later, we got this incredible game. So that was a cool stretch there. I was very happy with the game at that time. I'm recording right now. Yeah. On this. So, late at night, sometimes my daughter likes to get up here and just hang out for a bit. You can talk, I just don't know if it'll come through, but you can talk if you want. But this is the path that I like taking on this section here. I just sort of like to sort of cover this beginning area as much as I can at the beginning. Some of the stuff I will say towards this first part of the map, there's not a whole lot to do as far as like, you know, really important items and all. So I just like to kind of clear it out, and that way I have to clear reason to come back to it later. Oh, but there's a few enemies in this little stretch here that can be a little powerful, so I'm gonna have to watch for these guys here. Like this guy, he packs the wall up, so. But if you have the holy water, you can get rid of him pretty quickly. I want to grab that money. I swear, I always feel like I could beat these guys in one hit. Why am I so weak right now? I don't know, I feel like my character's a little underpowered for some reason. What you playing, baby? Are you watching? Alright, so here it finds a fairly tough enemy, so you have to watch for this guy here. Again, he's not that bad, it's just he's gonna be a little hard if he gets a good hit on him. But just throw some holy water down and he's good as that. Let's stack up some hearts here. So basically, to kind of show here what I did, so unlock this area here, right? So if I pull up the map, so as you can see here, so I'm back kind of at the starting area where I got to the first save room, and so as you can see, I kind of went over to the left, up, and then across to the right, down, and so sort of like in a circle there, right? And so wasn't able to clear all of that area there, but most of it. So now I can just focus on going forward now, or progressing more forward now. Yeah, not something you have to do, but just the way I sort of like to explore the map. Might as well. These blood skeletons, I'm pretty sure, are pretty much in every Castlevania game. Well, maybe not all, but most of them. Yes? Why do I like Pepto-Bismol so much? I don't know. You know, honestly, really, I don't like it. I just kind of joke like that with your mommy, but I mean, I don't mind it. It has like a smooth taste to it, and like I said, I'm just kind of joking when I tell your mommy that, but it's not. Oh my gosh, I wouldn't do that. Well, you've had it before, Layla. You've had it before. Have you? I feel like I always used to get stomach aches when I was a kid, and so I had Pepto-Bismol quite a bit then, so maybe that's why I like it. Do what, honey? A trend. What kind of trend? Oh. What does that mean? I have no idea. Sounds like you're speaking Japanese then. Okay. Okay.
Mix them up. What color does it make? You can't even tell.
You're gonna be trilingual. You're gonna be able to speak English, Spanish, and Japanese. Alright, so now we're back to the area where I started doing my little loop around. And so every now and then, you'll get some new, equipment and knowledge of killing some enemies. Some of them will drop some fairly rare items. There's actually some weapons you can get later on in the game that are really powerful, but it's just kind of dependent, I believe, on, killing a certain enemy and their, chances of them dropping the enemy are fairly low, so you really have to sort of grind for it, right? And there's stats that you can get affected by in this game. So there, for example, I got poison. I just let it run its course. I believe after a while it goes away. That's a really long time. Mm-hmm. Something that you like, no, that I like that you don't like. Quesadillas. I like quesadillas and you don't. I like coffee Cheetos, it's just that I much prefer crunchy Cheetos. Okay, I'm wrong. Oh, and I'm almost dead here. Luckily it doesn't say. Okay, so now we'll be going into some new areas. Something that I like that you don't? Shawarma. Like the chicken that we made the other day.
Wait, are you human? What are you doing here?
I've come to destroy this castle.
Likewise. I'm Maria. And you are?
Alucard.
Well, if you're a better swordsman than a speaker, perhaps I'll see you again. Farewell.
Okay. Gotcha. So as you're going through the game, it'll have its little story elements there. And so you can see Maria, so if you recognize her from the intro of the game, and also if you played Rondo of Blood, so she's a hidden character there. And that little area that we came across with that clock there, that'll come into play later. I bet that would be good. And so one quick little tidbit, you kind of want to make a mental note of where this stopwatch power-up is at, as that'll come into play a little bit later. And we got this other power-up here too, also for the Bible, which it's a okay attack. So as you're coming through here, this looks a little suspicious here, right? So make a mental note of that, as we'll come back to that later. This little stretch is pretty cool though, if you keep an eye, literally keep an eye on the background there. You'll see something kind of creepy almost. You know, I just realized, and I think I forgot to grab a certain item. Ooh, I believe I did. Well, let's backtrack a little bit. Like I said, a very casual playthrough. I thought that was always kind of cool, all those parallax layers in the background. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of hurry through this section here. There's an item that I'm pretty sure I missed, so I want to go back and get it. Like you want to make something? Remember Hollow Knight? Yeah, Hollow Knight. This thing inspired Hollow Knight. It's a Metroidvania. It's like that one thing that we have, huh? It's like that one thing that we have, right, for our scalp. The thing that they put on the baby. How big is it? Alright, I did a quick little pit stop here. Okay, so the item that I think I forgot, it should be over here somewhere. I'm pretty sure I got it, otherwise this would be very embarrassing. Part of the reason I probably don't do like live streams. Because I have a hard time talking and then playing at the same time where I'm actually... But oh, there it is. Alright, so basically what this is that I'm pretty sure now it'll show the names of the enemies when I hit them. Oh no, that's not what it is. What is this then? So if we go into relics, let's see. So cube of those. So this, okay, so this causes the items to materialize. Okay, so this shows the enemy damage. Okay. Alright, so never mind then. But I did miss the item though anyway. But I thought it was the item that actually showed you what the enemy's names are. Money, money. What did you find? What is that?
America.
The what?
America.
Oh, America. Oh, it is. Can you press on that?
Crazy.
That's interesting.
This has been crazy. One day Mr. wanted me to get like a sticker for her and her floor. I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm like, no.
That's funny. My daughter just found a YouTube short about the company that I work for, and I was like, huh, I didn't know that we had something like that. I hate these little flea guys. They're annoying. Well, look at these little... Watch. On the next one you'll see here. Watch that one right there. They're kind of hard to hit. Oh, there you go. Alright, so again, I apologize for that little detour I had to take, but we're back on track here. One thing about the game, if you've been kind of noticing already, or I'm not sure if I mentioned it already, but not the most difficult game. But that's actually one thing that I really like about this game, is because it's very almost cathartic just playing this, and very relaxing just because it's not super challenging, but all the still really fun to play. All the music, environments, and gameplay and everything just makes it just one of my more favorite games to just come back to. I just want to sort of chill for a bit.
No, wait, not this, just wait. Just wait, okay? Michael Jackson and Isaiah.
And they're in the middle of this section here. You want to make sure you grab that money bag there. It gives you 250 gold, so that's it makes like a weird sound effect. Oh, I don't think that properly did anything. If you get hit by one of those rocks that throws, like you can see there, it poisons.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm coming up on the end of my little recording session here. As apparently I've been paying attention, and I only have it set to record for about 60 minutes. So it should be coming up across the save room here soon. Alright, but we're going to call it quits for this game for tonight. Again, I need to see if I can adjust the timer there to maybe let it record for a little bit longer, but I think this is good for now. I'm really trying to do this just to kind of get an idea of how this all works and all, but that'll be my goal, is again to upload my gameplay on this here. And again, this is a very casual playthrough, but my hope is to try to get this done at least within a month or so. Maybe I'll try to do a little bit more tomorrow. We'll see how it all goes. But hopefully you've enjoyed this. This is, again, even just playing this right now, as many times as I've played it, this is just such a relaxing game for me to play. The music and the graphics and everything just certainly brings me back to that time when I first played it. I just can never get tired of this game. But we'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.